Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. How are you? I hope you're enjoying the best of health. I welcome you in my class, that is English for grade 2. We are learning unit 9. Its title is Here is the Winter. My dear fellow teachers, this lesson plan, PowerPoint presentation and worksheet links are given. You may click it, download it, follow it as it is, or modify it for your convenience. So my dear students, we are going to learn about punctuation today. Before this, in your previous lessons, you have already learned about punctuation, particularly comma, full stop, question mark. I hope you remember. If not, you may watch this video lecture again. And we are going to learn further to identify punctuation words in a sentence. For example, capitalization, comma, full stop, and question mark. So beta, we have learned all these things in grade 1. We have revised it in grade 2 as well. So we will learn it again today. This is our SLO for today. So let's start with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah mentions in Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 255. Allah, there is no God worthy of worship except Him, the ever-living, all-sustaining. Neither drowsiness nor sleep overtakes Him. To Him belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on the earth. Subhanallah. Yes, my dear students, what this beautiful verse is telling us. Beta, this is a part of this verse which is known as Ayatul Kursi. It is a long verse which tells us in detail about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who is Allah? Allah is worthy of worship. Beta, there is no God except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we should only worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is ever living, or always living, and He gives risks to everyone. He neither drowsiness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not sleep. Subhanallah. So I think all of you should learn in detail from your Qari Sahib or from your Islamia teacher about Ayatul Kursi, because it is a beautiful introduction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? Now, my dear students, better look at these punctuation marks, a comma, ever living and all sustaining. So these two words we have separated by using comma. Likewise, when we are ending, we use a full stop. This is how we use different punctuations. So I hope you remember. So where do we place or write a comma or a full stop or a question mark? Whatever you remember about it, tell to your teacher, and also tell where do we do capitalization. So whatever you have learned and you remember, pause the video, tell to your teacher, and then come back. Yes, my dear students, did you discuss all these punctuation? Okay, so I'm going to tell you again. We use a full stop at the end of a sentence. Remember, we have learned it. So when we write a sentence and we complete it, we place a full stop. It means this sentence ends here, right? And when we see a full stop while reading, it means we have to take a pause on this full stop. Okay, this is how we read it, and this is how we use it in writing. The next is we use a question mark at the end of a question. Excuse me. Means when we ask or inquire about something. So when we ask or inquire about something, at the end of that inquiring statement, we place a question mark. It means we are asking something. This is what this punctuation is. So we end a statement on a full stop, and we end a question on a question mark. Okay. And the next thing is, where do we use a capital letter? If I write, my brother Sajid loves eating mango, is it correct? No, it is incorrect, because we know the first letter of the first word of a sentence should always be capital. So we should write this my with capital M. My brother. The first letter of the first word of the sentence should always be a capital letter. And we also know that particular naming words we should write with capital S. So Sajid is name of my brother. That's why I should write it with capital S. All right. My brother Sajid loves eating mango, and I should put a full stop because this is end of this sentence. And beta, if I don't do this sentence with small letter starting with a small naming word and without full stop is wrong. So when we write sentences like this, we are not writing it properly. So first letter of the sentence should be capital. If we are using any particular naming word in the sentence, it should be written with a capital letter, and at the end of the sentence we should place a full stop, right? This is how we punctuate our work. So the next example is, how is Zahra doing? Once again, the first letter should be capital. How is Zahra is name of a particular, it's a particular name, so it should be written with capital Z. And is it a statement or is it a question? How is a question word. We have learnt about it. So it means it's a question. That's why at the end of this statement we should place a full question mark. This question mark should be there, right? So now it's capitalized and punctuate correctly, right? The next example is, we went to Islamabad yesterday. Once again, the first letter should be capital. Islamabad is a particular naming word, so it should be with capital I. Yesterday, and it's a statement. That's why we should place a full stop. Now this is the correct sentence with correct punctuation and correct capitalization. Do you see? This is how we find words. We identify which word should be written with capital letter, which letter we have to capitalize in this sentence, and which punctuation mark we have to use in this sentence, right? Are you clear with the concept? Okay, so where do we use a comma? We have learned about comma as well. So we use a comma to separate one list item from the next. So beta, when we are writing many things in a sentence, we separate all the items in that sentence by placing a comma. So the final two items in the list are usually separated by using and. How do we use it now? Apple, comma, banana, comma, mango, comma, guava, and orange, all are fruits. Now this is a list of naming words. So we have separated them by comma. This is how we use a comma in writing. And while reading, we take a short pause. Apple, banana. We don't say comma, like it's written. So how do we read it? Apple, banana, mango, guava, and orange are all fruits, right? Okay. And at the end, we'll use full stop. It's a question and it's a statement. It's answer, right? Okay. So this is the concept we have already learned. We had a quick recall. Now let's practice it through an activity. What we are going to do, teacher will write some sentences on board and students will identify the punctuation mark and will encircle and tell the name. They will tell it's full stop or a question mark or a comma, and it's also better if teacher asks the reason why we have used this punctuation. So pause the video, enjoy this activity, and then come back. Yes, my dear students, are you done with it? Good job. Now on page 75, open your book. Here is a question 6. So recall the punctuation rules. We just recalled it. We recalled it through an activity as well, and rewrite the following sentences in your notebook. So you will find out where to use a capital letter, where to use a full stop or question mark or comma. So be careful and do this question. Rewrite the sentences in your notebook. So pause the video, complete this task, and then come back. Yes, my dear students, are you done with it? Okay, so here's your homework. You will read unit number 8, means your last unit. Read it again and circle commas, question marks, and full stops in the text. This is your homework, and here I'm giving you a worksheet, my dear fellow teachers. This worksheet, lesson plan, PowerPoint presentation links are given. You may click it, download it, and kindly provide a printed worksheet to students for practicing punctuation. So what we have learned today? We learned to identify punctuation marks in sentences. For example, capitalization, comma, full stop, and question mark, and we achieve the SLO to identify punctuation words. Yes, we find it in a sentence. We practice which word should be capitalized, where to place comma, where to place full stop, and where to place a question mark. Are we done with it? Yes. So that's it for today. Tomorrow I'll come again with a very interesting lesson. Till that time, keep learning and take very good care of yourself. Thank you, and Allah Hafiz.